I think this is the great filter for who eventually starts to build up some degree of an audience. And I think this is where most people quit because it's pretty sane to quit. If you've been posting for a year or 2 years or even three and nothing's really happening, it's a pretty logical conclusion to think, okay, well, this is not going to work out. Like, I'm going to stop doing this. But I think the reality is what you just said. It's like you are working out the kinks or whatever. And like, it's a really painful process, just to be completely frank. And there are just very, very few people who have ever gotten to the other side without some degree of this journey. And more specifically, I always love going back. James Clear's first tweet is like still live, and he has like 13 likes on it. And most of them are likes from people who found it later, like me, and realized it was his first tweet. And, like one retweet and like nothing. And the article is pretty good, but like it's, nothing totally groundbreaking. It's not obvious that he's going to go on to greatness. But 8 years later, 9 years later, whatever it's been, very different place. 400,000 followers. A million people read his newsletter now. Are you kidding me? Like huge success. And it's just so easy to forget about that kind of the trough that happens before.
And it'll be cool to see how it plays out because we're still on first generation of internet. This is the first cohort of internet celebrities to exist, if you even want to call them that. I wouldn't even call them that. They're just people who have do good work and have mastered distribution. Let's just call it that. They're like that. Yes. That's all they've done is figured out distribution and then just continue to do the work. So they kind of wrote the first playbook, and now we're kind of reverse engineering it to be like, okay, where do I put the buttons on my website and stuff like that? But it's really, in the grand scheme of things, we have no idea what's going to happen next. Like, are these people going to have a full career as a creator, or are they going to roll that into their next company, or are they just going to say, okay, never mind, I'm going to be a hermit. Like, I've made enough money, I'm just going to be a hermit and just write under a pseudonym or something. Like, you have no idea. And everyone, that's kind of the beauty of it, is it's an open-ended career path. Like, it has benefits. Yes. No matter what you want to do, whether it's go out on your own or be an employee.
I could not agree more. I think that we're building a civilization from scratch on the internet, and it replicates a lot of what happens in real life, but I think it also has these very unique elements. And one of them is like the fact that, again, I don't know if this is the best metaphor or whatever, but if you were a blacksmith 400 years ago, like you could basically sell your services to anywhere within walking distance at best. And the only people who knew about your blacksmith service would be the people in your village. And like, that was the extent, your market size was, your physical health and ability to walk. That's how far you could go. Obviously on the internet, the equivalent is you could teach a million people how to do blacksmith stuff. You could service and find clients for your work all over the world. And you made a great point about distribution. One of the unique skills of the internet is going to be figuring out how to market yourself, because you could be the best blacksmith in the world. And unfortunately, right now on the internet, you would also have to be a damn good marketer to be able to really get it out there. So it is a distinct skill set. And I think in a lot of ways, I think it's trending in a good direction where the internet's becoming a bit more meritocratic of like the best ideas and content finding their way to the surface. But that's sort of like that axiom of like how life can happen on the internet is very distinct. And I don't think we've really seen anything like it in the entirety of human history. And like you said, I think it also opens up many doors. You as a blacksmith, it used to be you're hitting hot steel and making it into shit. And like, that's the work. And that's all you can do with that skill set. On the internet, you could teach a course about it. You could get into really niche custom work that no one in your town could have ever bought, but this wealthy person in a different country wants to buy. And now you make a career doing this very specific type of blacksmith work, whatever. And so that's new. You could use your influence and clout just to open doors. I've been able to, host awesome people for conversations, probably like you have with the podcast, just by effect of having a little bit of a presence online, a little bit of credibility, having hosted some other great people that you can leverage for the next one.